Okay. All right, it's about 20 to 8. We started about 10 minutes ago. Got the bike on the lift, facing out. I've got the skyhook acting as spare while we've got it jacked up. Kevin has already started taking the nuts and bolts off of the fender, and we're going to take the wheel off. We're going to drop the lower legs off the forks and find out what's inside the forks and what's not inside the forks, and try to figure out what the fork dampers need. And I think it's just the long tubes, and I don't know what goes at the bottom of the tubes, but we're going to find out very shortly. Okay, we got the wheel off and we have the fender off, and we're going to break these seal cups free. And I suspect that since there's no damper rod, then these legs should just come straight off, because we can't get these bolts at the bottom off because of the powder coats, making them really difficult to get a socket on. So I'm hoping that whatever's in there will come off with these legs, and we are about to find out as soon as hang on for a second, and I think we're done. All right, Kevin is using the special wrench to unscrew the seal cup. It's very nice having the proper tool for the job. It fits these two pins. Let me show them. Turn it up. Let's show them the okay. The pin is here. The pin is here, and fits the holes. And that way you don't have to use a big monkey wrench and mess up the chrome. Okay. It's nice having the right tool. Okay, I was wrong. The fork legs are not just going to pop off just because we released the seal cups. We have to get in here and get to this bolt that's going up under the bottom, and we're going to have to figure a way to get a socket up in there. The powder coating or something is just making it next to impossible. So we'll be back. Well, folks, as I've said before, we video our successes and have fun with them, and now we are going to video one of our let's say not successes, okay? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this front end.
Something.
Let's call it, let's just say Kevin screwed up. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this front end. It is, in fact, an empty tube. We did some research on the various and sundry numbers. We found out we have a 67 frame, a 68 bike title, 69 forks, and 71 engine. The 69 forks were completely and totally different than the 68 forks, and that's on us. We, when we checked everything out, we did not bracket the year. We should have bracketed the 68, looked at the 67s, 68, and 69. All of this is correct, and we're going to put it back together. And the fun just never stops. And yeah, we're going to eat this time too, but it's our fault, so we don't charge. Okay, here we go. All right, we got the fork legs back together, getting ready to put them back into the bike. Years ago, I want to show you this. Years ago, as I discovered, you just can't push these things up because you're fighting the springs. You need fork pullers that'll pull the forks up into the yoke. So I started making these. These are old fork caps that I cut down and had welded to threaded rod. This one is for BSA A65s. And these are for Nortons and Triumphs and various sundry models. Years later, matter of fact, rather recently, I found out that they make a kit where they have the shaft and about 6 different adapters, which are really nice to own. So far, these have done the job just fine. So we're going to put these fork legs back into the triple tree and put this bike back together. All right, so we loosened these pinch bolts to drop the forks out, and this is a wedge. It's actually just an old screwdriver that I cut off, and I drive it up into this split here to spread this a little bit, and I'm going to leave it in while I put these forks in just to make them a little easier to pull up. So we'll do this side now. We being me, because Kevin went home. All right, let's start the process and see how this goes. Can you see that? Yeah, pretty good. Let's get this wedge out of here. Tighten the pinch bolts down just enough to make sure nothing silly happens when I take the puller off the top. You know, like it fall out. Okay. Now let's confirm that these tubes are all the way up into the top of the triple treat. And I think they are. I'm going to turn just a little bit more. Make sure. Okay, nice and flush with the top. All right. down just a little bit more while I'm here. I'll double check it after I get it complete. All right, I'll get set up and we'll do the other one. All right, let's start the process on the other side. I put the wedge in. I don't know if it helps or not. It doesn't hurt. Okay, give you a couple more ons. All right. I'm going to snug these pinch bolts just a little bit. Nice and even. Okay, so now I just have to put these back on, which was a pain. Put the front wheel on, the fender on, hook up the brake, and I'll do a little bit more. I have to go to the Old Farts lunch at about 11 o'clock. I've got half an hour to go. So I might do a little bit more. I can put the oil in, put the caps on, stuff like that. We'll see. Oh, by the way, this is usually the moment when I realize I put the wrong leg on the wrong side. But I didn't. That's the right side. So I lucked out. All right. Well, it's about 5 after 11. I've got to go put on some big boy clothes and go to the old farts lunch. The wheel is on, the fender is on, everything's put back together. I have to put the instruments back up here. I have to put oil in the forks, and I have the fork caps and fork boot clamps to go, and that'll put this bike back together. So, so far so good, and I'll pick this up after lunch. All right, this is a wrap-up video. Empty lift. 441 Victor just went home. Yellow bike waiting on the cable for the speedometer. The green Goddess available to go on the lift. The red BSA completely finished, put back together, except Kevin's going to do a test ride tomorrow, and then we will release it to the owner. And my two bikes sit here sleeping quietly. So I'd like to get the green Goddess back on the lift in the next couple of days to see what happens. We'll let you know.